This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. The title of this rant is, Will Congress Ever Stop Reparations to the Rich? Of course not. So there was a Washington Post article yesterday basically saying what we all knew anyway, was that the rich don't pay dick in taxes. They don't pay nothing. They pay barely anything, 1%, 0%. 1/4%, etc. Again, this is nothing new. We knew this, but it put it into actual print, and it's a good thing. But what was not in the article, and is really what we have to deal with, is the fact that we have very, very rich people who are actively buying politicians. I'll give you $100,000 to your campaign fund, and you write something in the tax code that saves me and my company $100 million. Yes, I don't think that's a fair equity deal, but to politicians who get that $100,000, it is. And not only are they doing it for themselves, but they are doing it for their corporations. And of course, let's just say for wealthy people, not only do they buy the politicians, but they can employ very expensive lawyers, tax attorneys, and very expensive accountants to defend them when they are knowingly, and I mean knowingly, grossly violating the tax laws here in the United States. Again, that's for individuals, and that's for many, many of the top corporations. And if we just look at some of the, let's just use the term monopoly corporations, and I'll just take one, Bezos, with Amazon. Now let's break this down. Did he build a better mousetrap? Yes, he did. He found a way that he could use the power of having a warehouse system strategically located with locations around the United States using the power of software, blah, 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 to get all of that. But then he actually pursued monopoly power by buying off politicians to change all kinds of codes. I remember for a long time, they weren't even paying state tax in many of the states. And they did everything, again, through lawyers, through accountants, everything, to buy politicians, to change the tax code, to change laws within states that gave them, let's say, more power, more monopoly power. And they basically because he basically wanted to destroy the competition. And, and there are many others like him. You can take a look at Facebook. We can talk about Google, Apple, and then there's many others besides just the tech industry, but they obviously are the ones that we can look at the forefront. Now, Bezos is going to go in space. Oh, and the press is going to fawn all over him. Oh, what a visionary, what an entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. But again, how much of that is ill-gotten gains taken away from other people because he refuses to pay his fair share in the assessments that have made our country great? And how much of that, let's just say, is taken away from feeding children? How much of that is taken away from early childhood education? How much of that has taken away, let's just say, for technical college for people in underprivileged areas? Or let's just use, how about our great friends that Trump said, the coal miners, who really need to have re-education so that they can be competitive and to work successfully, not only in this century, but as we go into the second century. And I just want to point out that I'm all for wealth accumulation, especially for me. There isn't that much there, but we're talking about the serious rich. And, we know that there are incredible gross inequities in the United States in terms of income distribution. And right now, there's only one party that is willing to assess that, and they're assessing it in a nominal way, and they are getting pushback all over the place for it. And we have to support every single Democrat to the hilt, basically to say that these gross inequities must be addressed, and they must be addressed now, not in the future. And whatever pushback comes from the Republicans, we need to revel in that pushback, because we're showing that they are in cahoots with the extreme wealthy who are basically robbing from the average person, or I like to say, robbing from the proletariat. This must stop. We must support the Democrats, and we must support it now.